The National Soccer Coaches Association of America is proud to be the world's largest soccer coaches organization, and the NSCAA is proud to bring you the November 5th, 2013 edition of the weekly College Highlights and Rankings Show. Former U.S. World Cup star and Virginia Cavalier John Harkes was at Klockner Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia, as the North Carolina Tar Heels ended UVA's 11-game unbeaten streak with a 1-0 win. And John Harkes joins us next right here on NSCAA TV.
And we kick off this week's NSCAA College Highlights and Review show here at Klockner Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm Dean Linke, along with former U.S. World Cup star John Harkes. And this game, Virginia comes in with 11-game unbeaten streak, but UNC walks in and they steal one 1-0.
Yeah, it was a gritty performance from UNC, Dean. We talked about how well they were organized defensively, and they really shut down UVA in that second half. When the pressure came from UVA, they were able to clean it up. And what a great game from Jordan McCrary. He did so well defensively, and really that whole cohesive unit in the back did such a solid job of shutting down any type of offense from UVA in that second half.
With the victory, UNC now advances to the ACC tournament. Let's roll to the highlights and show you what happened here in Charlottesville, Virginia. And it was an early goal from Tyler Engel that put UNC on top.
Well, again, it just comes to a game of mistakes in a situation that's given away. Jeff Carl doesn't clear it properly. And then, at the end of it, the cleaning up part of it, well, it came from UNC. The shot from the top of the box, Holness getting that strike on goal, and Tyler Engel just really cleaning it up, following up every bit of that play. And he does well to get the early goal.
As you look forward to the ACC tournament, so many great teams here in this conference.
It's such a competitive conference, Dean. And the one thing that you love about it is that you're always going to be surprised. So, tonight, well, you were surprised. If you're a UNC fan, you're very happy. To go into Klockner Stadium when you beat a team like this who has an 11-game unbeaten streak, that's very difficult to do. So that kind of competitive edge that you see in the ACC right now, it's huge, and it's such a great performance from UNC to get a win.
Finally, John, setting the table, as you look at the NCAA tournament, who are the teams to beat nationally?
Well, I think that you see two of them right here. You talk about Maryland. You look at Notre Dame, even a lot of Wake Forest doing a very good job at the top of the ACC. Right across the board in the NCAA. Wow, California, Kevin Grimes, we know the team that does so well. UCLA, there's so many great programs out there.
All right, John, we said we kicked off the show right here. I'll let you send it back.
I'm going to send it back. It's good for Dean and I to do it from Charlottesville, send it back to the Continental Studios to Dean Linke. It's pretty weird.
John Harkes, so much fun. And welcome, everybody, to the Continental Tire Studios here in Chapel Hill. Get it right, John, will you? So much fun, such a big show. And John Harkes, he's been so important to the game of soccer and even college soccer. Now, remember, at Virginia, he won the Missouri Athletic Club Award. And he also had 90 appearances for the U.S. team, part of the 1990 and 94 World Cup team. Who could forget that great goal he scored for Sheffield Wednesday, and he was a longtime member of MLS. It was like going home, though, with John Harkes. I was the press officer for the 1994 World Cup team. That's with Ted Koppel, a great piece on Nightline, and so much fun. And then there we were back together again on Friday night in Virginia, as John Harkes joined me in the booth. He even brought a book. Remember that great book he wrote about being a captain for life. A lot of fun with John Harkes, and we have a big show here today. Let's take a look at what's on tap as we will cover it all here in college soccer. We'll have a visit from the new #1 team in the country and their head coach, Bobby Clark. They don't get any better than Bobby Clark. We'll visit with Coastal's Shawn Docking, who leads Coastal Carolina. They've had a rough week. William and Mary and James Madison play on NSCAA TV tomorrow, and we'll preview that game. We'll take a look at the #1 team in the country, Division III, Amherst. We'll get an NAI update with Alan Grosbach and all the rankings and players of the week. That's just on the men's side. Later on the women's side, Steve Swanson, the head coach of the now 20-0 UVA women's team, is here. We'll visit with the Santa Clara program, including former star Brandi Chastain, as well as her husband and the head coach of the Broncos, Jerry Smith. We'll take a look at 5,000 plus that watch BYU and Portland battle in Portland. Kevin Fickus has the Ore Diggers among the Division II women's best, and Jay Russell will profile Paradise Valley Community College of the NCAA. All the rankings and players of the week and more right here on the NSCAA Weekly College and Highlights Ranking Show. Hello, everybody. I'm Dean Linke. I now welcome in my broadcast partner, Charlie Slago. And Charlie Slago, another huge week and another new number one.
A new week, but I am still looking at that picture and think that you haven't aged at all since '94. So that's very impressive. But we're at the last week of the women's soccer before the NCAA tournament bids come out, and then we have a week and a half until the men do, and it's getting exciting. Conference tournaments in some cases, finishing up seasons for conferences that don't have conference tournaments, and it's going to be great. We will review the ACC women when they get there, because number 1, 3, 4, and 6 are in the Final Four for them.
All right, let's take a look at the storylines we'll be covering today. First, on the men's side, as we said, there's indeed a new number one. It's Notre Dame. UCLA got some votes as well as they beat Stanford and Washington. Notre Dame beat Wake at Wake. And how about Patrick Mullins could win another Herman Trophy, the Mac Herman Trophy, after the game winner against NC State. Louisville with a golden goal, and John Trask doing a nice job with the Badgers.
Doing a great job up at Wisconsin.
Let's take a look here now at the top 10, and of course, there is a new number one in Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame beat Wake Forest 3-1 to move up from 2-1. UCLA defeated Stanford and Cal, both on the road, 2-1 victories in both cases. So you have those games, and slowly but surely, University of Maryland, you mentioned it with Patrick Mullins getting the game winner. They beat NC State 2-1. They have moved up to 5th.
All right, Bobby Clark, one of the best in the business. You take a look at there now in his 13th season. He's got the all-time leader in wins at Notre Dame, 11 NCAA appearances, producing big-time players. A big year last year in the Big East, now a big year this year in the ACC, and we caught up with him earlier in the week.
Well, so far, we got off to a good start, and we've kind of kept it going. And we're very similar last year. I've got a good group of kids just now, and they all work very hard. And this group, it was a challenge. I think we knew going into the ACC this was going to be an exciting year for us. So I didn't have a lot of problem motivating them in the off season last winter and spring. They worked very hard, and then I think they carried that through the summer. Our fitness coach did a fantastic job. So I felt we came into this this season excited and ready for the challenges.
I'm glad you mentioned the ACC. You went from one difficult conference in the Big East straight into the ACC. There really are no cupcakes. Every week is a challenge, right, Bobby?
No, it's a fantastic conference, there's no question. And I really enjoyed the challenges. The coaches are very, very well coached, and tremendous athletes. So that, as you say, is a challenge every week. But to be honest, if there was one conference could have prepared us for it, it would have been the last year's Big East, because we had a terrific. It was a really good league last year. You had UConn, and you had Marquette, you had Georgetown, and then our crossover game was Louisville and St. John's. So these when you run these teams, it was a good league to prepare us. But the ACC is very, very challenging and very enjoyable. As I say, I've enjoyed it. There's great venues, and there's been great games, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
When you look at college soccer in general, and I'm glad you did mention those Big East schools. I mean, out west, there's a guy named Jamie Clark doing an amazing job at Washington. We know about Cal, UCLA, all over the country. Parity's never been better, and as a broadcaster, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, you look at the conferences. I mean, we obviously play a lot of the Big Ten schools, and they're very, very challenging. That's a good league, and the Pac-10 or the Pac-12 as they call it now is out there with Jamie and with UCLA. Cal's having a fantastic year, and again, it's I think college soccer. I know it's never been better. It's not. I know it. If I go back to when I came to Dartmouth back in the it would be 1985. Wow, I'm giving my age away a little bit. But how the standard of player has improved, and the standard of coaching, and it's a great place to play. It's a great place to coach.
Finally, Coach, real quickly, one of the things that you've established as well is not only a great team this year, but a really nice legacy as you look at what you've done at Dartmouth and Stanford and now Notre Dame, and you sprinkle so many coaches all over the place. Earlier in this program, we heard from Steve Swanson calling you the greatest man he knows in soccer. You've got your son out in Washington. How important is that legacy when you see so many coaches doing a great job like Steve Swanson, 19-0?
I'm so happy for Swan. He's gone through it. He's just had a fantastic year. But he just is a good coach. He's a good teacher. He works at it every year. Any players that play for him. I mean, my daughter even was an assistant with him when both at Dartmouth and at Stanford. And I just know what a great job he does. And as you say, that's one of the funnest things. You can see that, Brian Weiss, there's a whole Jeff Wheeler, even I've got lads who are now he's at Wesleyan in Connecticut there. He does a great job every year. You've got Chad Riley now at Dartmouth. You've got John O'Connor, who's now at Castleton State. I can go through all these people that are out there, and Mike Avery's at Valparaiso. There's just a fun group, and I've enjoyed seeing their careers almost as much as my own teams. Every week I look. You look to see how they get on, and that's a fun part of being a coach and having good assistants. I've got two tremendous assistants with me just now, and BJ Craig and Greg Dalby. And they do so much work, and I think that's one of if you're going to be a successful program, you need very good right hand and left hand men to keep you right.
Well said, Bobby Clark. He is beloved, and he's doing a fantastic job. We hope to see you in Philadelphia down on the field for the College Cup this year, Coach. Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you, Dean, and I would love to be back. We were at PP&L Park last year for the Big East Final Four, and it was a great experience. So I'd love to do it again.
Of course, your interviews are brought to you by Shattuck St. Mary's, the fine academy up in Minnesota. To learn more about that organization run by Jesse Fortney and Tim Carty, visit s-sm.org. That's your top 10. Now let's take a look at 11 through 20 here. Penn State, Bob Warming. They actually lost to the Ohio State Buckeyes, but they sit at number 11. Tim Bob Steeg's Gauchos at number 12.
And people are going all over, teams are going all over, and these conferences are making not strange bedfellows, but strange travel plans. UAB, Mike Getman's team, was 10 last week. They dropped to 17. They had to play New Mexico at New Mexico midweek. They scored 6 goals this week in 2 games and lost them both, 2-4-3 at New Mexico and then home to South Carolina. But then you have North Carolina sneaking back into the top 25 all the way to number 19, and the 2 Big Ten schools, Wisconsin, who beat Eastern Illinois 5-1 and Northwestern 1-0 on the road, and Michigan State, who defeated Indiana 3-2.
We also had a tie against Akron as well. That is your 11 through 20, and then your final 5.
Your final 5, a lot of new teams. We mentioned UNC back in the top 25. Xavier at number 22, New Mexico at number 23, UC Irvine at number 24, and Creighton at number 25 were not in the poll last week and are now in the bottom 5.
Coastal Carolina's had a great season. They did lose their last 2 games. As you take a look at it under Shawn Docking, now in his 16th season. He's the 7-time Big South Coach of the Year. And Matt Hogue joined Coastal Carolina head coach Shawn Docking and filed this report.
Dean, thanks so much, and we welcome the NSCAA audience to the Grand Strand of South Carolina here on the beautiful Atlantic coast, talking Coastal Carolina soccer. And certainly through the years, Coastal Carolina Chanticleers have had a legendary program, a lot of success producing MLS stars such as Joe Nguyen and many more. And this year, Coach Shawn Docking, who joins me, has his team ranked in the top 10 yet again. And, Coach, it has been a familiar refrain with what you've done with this program. The names have changed through the years, but the success is still at the same high standard. I know it's something you're very pleased with, the program that you've been able to build here.
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to get better every year, like everybody else in the country. You continually recruit, you continually work on player development, and you learn from each other. There's a lot of great coaches and great programs around the country, and I love to just pick brains and, constantly try to better what we're doing through other guys and just different avenues of soccer. So I think that's been the enjoyment with what we've tried to do here over the last, 10, 15 years.
Talking to one of the stars of the Chanticleer program, Ricky Garbanzo, who has had a terrific season. And Ricky, you've had a chance to play now in this program on several very good teams the last few years. Size up how this team looks this year to you.
I think we're a better team this year. I feel like we got a more connected team, as in everyone puts in the work at the same time. And opportunity, like, we don't have a main goal scorer, but we all contribute to the goal scoring opportunities, and we capitalize on those.
Describe Shawn Docking's system, what his style of soccer is.
His style is mostly just attractive style, usually combination play up to the attacking, and then defensively we all track back, get our man, and win the ball and try to counterattack, which we have done decently this season.
And then the final word about your program as you talk to student athletes that may be looking at Coastal Carolina. What is unique about your brand of soccer or the style that you like to play that you think would be attractive to a potential recruit?
Well, I think college soccer doesn't get enough credit for the player development process that we go through. I think college soccer is an incredibly good environment to help prepare these guys to play at the next level. And I think it plays an integral part of professional soccer in this country. You will see that many MLS teams have got guys that have played at a good college level. And some of the best players in the MLS have gone on to play or started in the college ranks. So, we're a part of that process, I believe, here. We're trying to do the same thing. We're trying to produce guys that maybe can go on and play at the next level.
For 16 years, he's been doing that here at Coastal Carolina University. Shawn Docking, the all-time winningest coach here at Coastal Carolina in soccer. It has been a nationally dominant program, and certainly check out more at GoCCUSports.com. We appreciate the opportunity to join you this week on NSCAA TV. I'm Matt Hogue, and we'll talk to you next time.
And Coastal Carolina, not the only South Carolina team to make some noise. Before we plug this game here coming up tomorrow, we got to tip our hat to Ralph Polson and Wofford. They beat Furman to capture the SoCon regular season title. How about the Wofford Terriers? Ralph Polson, the former president of the NSCAA. Speaking of former presidents of the NSCAA, how about Al Albert? They've named the field after Albert as well as John Daly, two big NSCAA icons. William and Mary will host James Madison tomorrow night right here on NSCAA TV. And, of course, as we take a look at the coaching matchup in that one, you look at Chris Norris. He's been with that program 22 years, replacing the legendary Al Albert, and he's now in his 9th season. They're 8-4-2. And then Tom Martin, I believe he's a doctor, the 28th season now. He's 6-8-2 for JMU. That should be a fantastic game tomorrow night right here on NSCAA TV. And Charlie, as you look at the standings, particularly for William and Mary, that game has a big impact there as you see William and Mary at 3-2-1.
Yes, they can move up the ladder, and the parity is just crazy, and we talked about it almost every week. This last week's top 25, Dean? 16, 16, and 3. 50% winning percentage. I don't know if you want to be in the top 25.
All right, the player of the week here now in the Division I is Franklin Castellanos, the senior midfielder from Iona College, scored 3 goals for 6 points in 2 competitions against St. Peter's and Canisius. He sits second in the nation in assists and is now Iona's all-time leader in assists with 36 and second all-time in points with 68 at Iona. Today's show is presented by Continental Tire, innovative technology, driving confidence. Learn more at continentaltire.com. And William and Mary James Madison is not the only game this week, as we will have on Friday night from PP&L Park at 7 p.m. right here on NSCAA TV, Russell Payne, the Army men's head coach, now in his 4th season. They're 12-2-2, will take on Dave Brandt's Navy team. He's in his 5th season, and they are 12-3-2. What a matchup at PP&L Park. And that game, as we said, is at PP&L Park, and so is this year's College Cup.
There's a reason soccer's called the beautiful game. Experience it live at the 2013 NCAA Men's College Cup, December 13th and 15th at PP&L Park in Philadelphia. Affordable tickets now available. Visit ncaa.com/Men's College Cup.
Did we win?
Continental Tire, the official tire of Major League Soccer.
Tra-la-la, tra-la, tra-la.
And welcome back to the Continental Tire Studios. Here as part of the NSCAA Weekly College Highlights and Review Show. Dean Linke along with Charlie Slagle. Division I men already in the books. Now we'll start looking at Division II, Charlie.
Yes, and we're going to look at the #1 team in the country, Young Harris, the Mountain Lions. And if you've been to Young Harris, you know that there could actually be Mountain Lions. Some of those nicknames, you don't have that chance. They defeat Clayton State 2-0, Pete Peterson's team, and then had a big one against Montevallo 3-2. Niall McCabe scored the game winner at 79-39 for Mark McKeever's team, and they are #1 in the country right now.
Tamina Kroger, a freshman midfielder from Fort Lewis by way of Germany, is your Disney Soccer NSCAA Player of the Week. Scored 4 goals Sunday at Colorado Christian in a 7-0 win. In 2 wins, he recorded 12 points on 6 goals, 9 shots, and 6 shots on goal. He's one of 3 players in school history to score 4 goals in a game. And our NSCAA Disney Soccer Division III Player of the Week is Brendan Alfery from Grove City. He's a sophomore goalkeeper, and he recorded 18 saves in a double overtime draw with conference leading Thomas More, and 6 of his 18 saves were in overtime. During the Disney Soccer Showcase, athletes have the opportunity to play in front of the top college coaches across the country. Teams who compete at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex will receive the first-class service that only Disney can offer. To apply for the Disney Soccer Showcase or learn more about the Disney Soccer Youth Tournaments, visit us today at DisneySoccer.com. Rolling along to the Division III standings, Charlie.
And let's look at a team that just got into the top 10. That's Loris. They went from 15 to 10. They defeated Center College 2-1. Dan Rothert's the coach, coaching at his alma mater. They have the team concept: 7 players with 3 or more goals, nobody with over 7 goals.
You see Amherst dropped back 1 after beating Ohio Wesleyan. A couple ties right there. They're at #2. And Justin Serpone has that team rolling, though, as Michael O'Brien has this report from Serpone.
100 wins is a testament. It's got really little to do with me. It's got a lot more to do with all the hard work of the assistant coaches over the last 7 years, the players, the alumni, the support of the parents, all of our family and friends. Being ranked #1 isn't necessarily a reflection on this particular team. We've had other teams that have gone through the regular season undefeated, but I think it's a reflection of the fact that Amherst soccer, for a long time, and a long time before I got here, has, year in and year out, been in the conversation for one of the best teams in the country. And to be ranked #1 is more of a reflection of that, the reputation of the program, and people are paying attention, and that's exciting for our guys. Although we know that, being ranked #1 is it's just a number. I don't know that we really hit our stride yet, and that's exciting, because I think it's one thing to be a good team in September. It's another thing to be a good team in November, and this program is all about being a good team in November, and hopefully everything's a prelude to that. The very, very base layer of Amherst soccer is working hard. That's got to be the foundation of what we do. Then the next layer is not giving up goals, right? So if you work hard and you don't give up goals, you're going to be a tough team to beat. This particular group has worked hard every single day, and they're committed to not giving up goals, and that's a recipe for a good team. What Amherst soccer is about isn't about kicking the ball into a goal. It's about every fall we get to go on a journey to try to be our best and to be the best version of ourselves as a team, as individuals, as possible in that particular year. And man, that's the fun of it. The soccer is great, and it's, but that's 90 minutes. This is a program that hopefully creates memories that last a lifetime. I'm just blessed to be part of it in any way.
Thank you, Michael. Congratulations to Amherst as we look now at NJCAA Division I.
And the new team popping up into the top 10, going from 11 to 7. Bryant and Stratton Business Institute have moved up the ladder and are now contending.
Number 1, Iowa Western still there. San Jacinto, Tyler Junior College, and Yavapai College at number 4. Let's look at Division III Junior College men.
Right, and we're going to be talking about Richland College. Once again, they moved up from 11 to 7. Sean Worley, the coach there, 17th season.
Last week we heard from Herkimer County Community College. Montgomery College Rockville's at number 2. Suffolk Community College is at number 3. And how about Bunker Hill? They hold serve at number 4 as well. Finally, the NAIA playoffs are set to begin, and NAIA's Alan Grosbach files this report.
NAIA soccer is in its home stretch as most conferences have wrapped up the regular season and are entering conference tournament play. This is an important time for both the men's and the women's programs, as a conference tournament crown means an automatic berth into the NAIA Soccer Championship opening round. Now on the women's side, 17 of the NAIA's 21 leagues have either kicked off action in the conference tournament or will this week. One of the intriguing matchups upcoming is when number 4 Embry-Riddle, Florida travels to number 2 Northwood, Florida to decide the Sun Conference regular season title. Now this is the second year that the conference has decided its regular season champion in a one-game winner-take-all format. An important note about this contest is that the winner receives one of the league's automatic berths into the national championship, and it avoids the conference tournament. When these two sides met earlier this year, Northwood defeated then top-ranked Embry-Riddle when Helen Linke netted a free kick with 3 minutes left in overtime to give the Seahawks the win. Shifting to the Mid-South Conference, Cumberland, Tennessee secured its first ever regular season conference championship with a 5-0 win over Bluefield College on October 26th. A notable piece about Cumberland's outright title is that it snaps a streak of 13 straight years that Lindsey Wilson has captured at least a share of the conference's regular season crown. The Blue Raiders finished one game behind Cumberland in the Mid-South standings after defeating Bluefield this past weekend. Moving to NAIA men's soccer and staying in the Mid-South Conference, Rio Grande, who sits atop the second edition of the NAIA's Modified Ratings Percentage Index, entered the Mid-South Conference tournament with a 12-2-2 record. However, the Red Storm are the number 2 seed in the tournament after finishing second to perennial powerhouse Lindsey Wilson. The Blue Raiders are the 2-time defending Mid-South Conference tournament champion and will look to continue that streak in 2013. An interesting side note about the Mid-South Conference, particularly with Lindsey Wilson and Rio Grande, is they have won every regular season and tournament championship since the Red Storm joined the league in 2009. The Mid-South Conference's 2013 edition gets underway on Saturday, November 9th. A second notable upcoming conference tournament to watch is the Southern States Athletic Conference, which also begins on November 9th. This event pits 4 ranked teams as of the 8th regular season edition of the Coaches Poll: number 8 William Carey, number 11 Auburn Montgomery, number 13 Martin Methodist, and number 17 Belhaven, against 4 teams that have also been ranked at some point during the season: Southern Wesleyan, Mobile, Bethel, Tennessee, and Southern Poly. William Carey and Auburn Montgomery entered this past weekend tied atop the conference with 8-1-0 records. As you can tell, there's a lot of talent in this league, and as you know, there's a lot happening around NAIA soccer. And don't forget, the National Championship Selection Day is only a couple weeks away on Sunday, November 17th.
The new fall flooring styles are here, and we've got them on sale now at Lumber Liquidators. Save on new hand-scraped and exotic hardwood, bamboo, laminate, and more. Choose from 53 floors under $2 a square foot. Don't wait. Sales going on now at Lumber Liquidators.
Each year, the NSCAA puts over 7,000 coaches through our coaching education program. Youth, high school, and college coaches at all levels participate in the diploma courses. Join your peers and get educated. Better coaching, better players, better game. NSCAA Coaching Academy. Improving soccer, one coach at a time. Register today at nscaa.com/education.
With men in the books, it's time to talk women's college soccer, and boy, it's going to be great. Head coach Steve Swanson was at Klockner Stadium on Friday night, and we spent a lot of time with him as they moved to 20-0. Brandy Chastain joins the program from her San Jose home. And how about her husband, Jerry Smith, has the Broncos rolling yet again in his 27th season. Huge crowd on hand in Portland for a big West Coast matchup between BYU and Portland. Kevin Fickus has the Ore Diggers of the Colorado School of Mines rolling, and Jay Russell profiles the new junior college powerhouse of Paradise Valley. All the rankings and players of the week and more as we bring back in Charlie Slago. I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you, excited to talk women's college soccer, and hard to ignore the job Steve Swanson has done.
Yeah, just 20-0. And they have
ties.
No ties. They have 3 players that have 10-plus goals, led by their Herman Trophy candidate, and I think she's one of the top 2, along with Crystal Dunn from North Carolina. Morgan Bryan, 12 goals, 13 assists. She's not a long thrower. She doesn't take their corner kicks, so those assists are through the run of play.
Let's take a look at the storylines, and of course, right at the top of the storylines, it's going to be hard to argue with what Virginia has done. As we look at Swanee's success, they're 20-0. UCLA under Amanda Cromwell doing a great job. How about Nebraska winning the Big Ten, ending the 15-year reign of the Penn State Nittany Lions? UW Milwaukee, they win the Horizon League one more time. And, hey, it's tourney time.
There's no question it's tourney time. One that's right down the road, the Final Four for the ACC, is number 1, number 3, number 4, and number 6 in the country are playing. If you take their games away from each other, those 4 teams are 62, 1, and 5 on the year.
Let's show him what he means by that as we look here at the top 10. And there is those ACC teams that, boy, it's amazing. 1, 3, 4, and 6. You called it, Charlie.
No question. And they've only allowed 34 goals in those 68 games, so 0.5. Virginia, the class of the league. Florida State, possession-oriented team, not a lot of high scores, but North Carolina, Crystal Dunn leading that with 13 goals, and Virginia Tech, Chugger Adair's team has had a great year. And you mix in those teams that are in there, UCLA, what a year, go to head home against Oregon State and Oregon and get wins, and then Florida beats Georgia 5-1.
Give Greg Ryan some credit as well. But Virginia all alone at number 1. Steve Swanson has had a fantastic couple years here. Now in his 14th season, they're 20-0. Don't forget, he was also the head coach of the U.S. Under-20 World Champions. And as I said, he stopped by Klockner Stadium on Friday. Steve, 19-0, undefeated in the ACC. What a magical year it has been.
Yeah, it really has. We've been it's hard sometimes not to pinch yourself, but especially in our conference, you know. But all full credit to our players. They've been absolutely magnificent from the beginning of our season, which I count in January, till now.
Well, you mentioned the players. You got 3 of them with 10 goals plus, of course, led by Morgan Bryan. But Doniak's been fantastic, and so has Radcliffe. Talk about some of them.
Well, I think Mac's really Mac had a good year last year as a first year, but I think she's really gained a lot of confidence. And I think playing with the 20s this past year has really helped her. You know, it's a good big transition for her coming from California, and I think that transition's over with. She and Morgan play very well together, and I think Morgan looks for her, and I think they've built a really good relationship. And then Brittany's just been fantastic this year. She's worked very hard to improve her game, and I think she's been a spark coming off the bench, which is, it's hard to find somebody that can come off the bench and give you some instant offense, but she's done that. She scored in big games, and she's shown up in every game too.
Well, here's the deal. It's one thing to go 19-0. It's another thing to play every team in the ACC and beat them all. I don't know if it'll happen again because they're talking about maybe changing that. Talk about the feed and what could be down the road for women's soccer in the ACC.
Well, I think, you know, we've decided that we're probably not going to play everybody in the league starting next year. We'll probably have 2 distinct pods or groups where it'll be 7 on one and 7 on the other. We'll play everybody in those groups, and then we'll cross over maybe 4 games. So I think the maximum we'll play is 10.
Magical 18 months for you as well, not only with this Virginia team, but the U.S. Under-20s, fantastic, which featured almost double-digit ACC players on that team. Talk about the run and the ACC representation on that U.S. U20 World Championship team.
Well, I think the run was incredible. I think especially when you look at our results in group play and how we did, leading up to the tournament. I think we got off to a little bit of a slower start, but caught fire in the knockout stages and played some of our best soccer there, which I think speaks to the players. To play their best soccer in the most pressurized environment is all credit again go to the players. Lucky to have some good ones and lucky to know a lot of them in the ACC. It's been hard after being with them for so long and traveling with them and getting to know them that you're on the opposite sidelines again. But that's all. We're a big family, and soccer sometimes you have a tendency to get big families with the soccer family.
Now, as a coach, how did that experience help you grow with the U.S. team?
Well, I think anytime you can get international experience playing against teams the caliber of Japan, Germany, China, Ghana, Nigeria, you see different styles, you see different ways of doing things, different ways of approaching the game, different ways of playing the game, and I think it's helped me become a better coach. Coaching the players on the under-20 team has helped me become a better coach just in learning how to manage different personalities and different styles of play and kind of making them mesh into a team. So we really had to mesh into a team, and I think if there's one thing our players deserve a lot of credit for, it's coming together like that, because it's hard getting a lot of great players to come in and play for the team, but they did that, and I think that was one of the keys to our success.
Steve, finally, you mentioned family. Of course, you come from this great tree under Bobby Clark, who's now doing great things for Notre Dame, ironically, in the ACC. Talk about what Bobby Clark has meant to you, and really, in that sense, so many coaches.
Well, he's just, and I'm not exaggerating, he's simply the best. He's the best coach, I think, that I've ever run across, and he's just about as good a human being as you could possibly have. He's he's got great integrity. He's very passionate about the game. And he's the best thing about Bobby. He wants to share his knowledge. I mean, he's never been one to hold things back. He'll help people as much as he can. And if there's one thing I've learned from him, it's just to spread the knowledge. So see if we can build soccer. He's never been about himself. And I owe a lot to him. I'm grateful that our paths crossed many moons ago back at Dartmouth College. But he's just a fantastic ambassador to the sport, and I think a great role model for all young coaches to aspire to.
Finally, Steve, full circle. You know what's ahead of you, the ACC tournament and then the NCAA tournament. 19-0, what do you got to do to get that first national championship?
Well, we got to realize we're 0-0 again.
That's right.
And, I think our players have been great all year long about just taking one game at a time and preparing properly and not getting too carried away with the results. I think the performances are what we're after. We're trying to get better every game. And I think we have gotten better. But I still think our best performance is still out there. And I think our players understand that. And they've managed this season as well as anybody can ask, So I don't think if we keep being successful, it's because we're taking one day at a time. And if we don't happen to get where we want to be at the end, it won't be because we've looked too far ahead or are full of ourselves. It's really about just managing each day. And I think we care about each other so much, and we're having such a good time that we want to make every day count as much as possible.
Steve Swanson, amazing year. Good luck the rest of the way. Congratulations on all your success.
Thanks very much, Dean.
Great job by Steve Swanson. I want to thank Ken Neal, one of the best producer-directors in the business, for supplying that interview as well as the time with John Harkes and tying it all together with the two #1 coaches, Bobby Clark and Steve Swanson. So Virginia's at #1, but how about the job that Jerry Smith's doing at Santa Clara? Helping him quite a bit. Arguably one of the most recognizable female athletes of all time is Brandi Chastain, who's been a volunteer assistant coach really ever since she's left. 192 appearances, 30 goals. Who could forget that penalty kick in 1999, her second world championship? She also has 2 gold medals and loves working for Santa Clara. And we caught up with the great Brandi Chastain. And yes, we know her and we love her. One of the true icons in the women's soccer game all over the world. We're talking about #6, Brandi Chastain, now part of the staff and always has been really of the Santa Clara women's soccer program. Brandi, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure, Dean. Anytime.
Well, Brandi, as we know, you graduated in 1991. You were with the team in 94 and 95. And then after your national team career ended in 2004, you've been back ever since. So clearly, Santa Clara women's soccer means a lot to you.
It does. It's very near and dear to my heart. It was actually a second chance for me, having started my collegiate career somewhere else. having 2 ACLs, it ended up being home, and quite literally and figuratively now.
Well, and of course, college soccer playing such a key role in the development of the national team programs of not just the U.S., but Canada and Mexico.
Well, the United States has a wonderful opportunity with Title IX to give young girls an opportunity to go to college, get an education, on and off the field. And I think what has happened at the national team level for Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. is that these players continue their training that they're getting with their youth teams at a much higher level under much different circumstances, and it's really helping us produce some of the best players in the world.
Brandy, whether it's been at Santa Clara or with the U.S. women, you have dedicated so much time to providing a great platform for young girls across the country.
Well, that is a great pleasure and an honor for me. I think as an ambassador to soccer, whether with the U.S. national team or now as a retired player, I learned so many lessons. I had so many wonderful opportunities, not only meeting and playing with the likes of the Julie Foudies, the Mia Hamms, Christine Lilly, Joy Fawcett, Michelle Akers, and the list goes on and on. But I got to learn a lot of things that are useful in life that I think that young girls need more time spending learning about. Through Title IX, young girls have now had the opportunity to use sports as an educator to learn teamwork, leadership, communication, resiliency, all these things that you get in sports that don't exist anywhere else. So for me, it is a great pleasure and an honor.
Now, you also get to share time with a man who has been at the head of the Santa Clara women's soccer program for 27 years, Jerry Smith, who also happens to be your husband. What makes him such a quality coach, Brandy?
Well, I think that there's the things that are obvious. He understands the game. He understands the competitive nature of sports. He's got an even-keeled personality, so he doesn't get too excited about things, and he doesn't dip too low when things don't go his way. I think he's got good perspective. And I think what he's really done recently in the last, I'd say, 10 years is develop this idea that leadership matters and that we're developing leaders on our team, and he spends a lot of time off the soccer field with his players, teaching them the values that they're going to need when they leave Santa Clara University. We all know that professional women's soccer, the opportunity is not for everybody. So what are they going to do once they graduate? And I think he's, in my opinion, not only the greatest coach we have in this country, but I think he's looking at the bigger picture for these kids when they graduate. How will they use the information they've learned through Santa Clara women's soccer as a stepping stone to the rest of their life?
Well said, Brandy. I want to say thank you, and also because you're a TV star, I want you to help me out a little bit on this show. How about that?
Oh, Dean, I thank you very much, but there is more Broncos soccer coming your way with defender Callie Rice and, of course, my husband and coach of Santa Clara, Jerry Smith.
This is Callie Rice with the NSCAA-TV, and I'm here today with Coach Jerry Smith of the Santa Clara women's soccer team. So, Coach Jerry, can you talk a little bit about what it's been like being at Santa Clara for 27 seasons now?
Well, it doesn't seem like 27 seasons. I think every year is a different year, and every year is a new year. So, I'm always challenged by the new group and look forward to getting the most out of the group and take it one year at a time. And when you look back on it, it's amazing that I started in 1987. It's been a great place for me. So I think when you're in a relationship and it's going well, time flies, and it doesn't seem like it's been a long time for me because it's been a good relationship for me.
So your team in 2001 ended up winning the national championship. Can you talk a little bit about what that was like?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a special year. Winning the championship is such a hard thing to do, and we've only done it once. So it was incredible. I think we had great leadership. Danielle Slayton was a great captain for us, and we had other great captains and leaders and non-captain leaders on the team, quite honestly. The team never became complacent. They always tried to get better. Even as we went into the Final Four, they were still trying to get better. And, to play the Tar Heels in the final is, you want that challenge if you're a talented team. We beat the team that has more championships than anyone. We beat those guys in the final. We outplayed them in the final, and it was exciting. You know, the semifinal that we won against the University of Florida, that was Abby Wambach's final game as a college player, and she's obviously, you know, one of the greatest players of all time. And then to beat, you know, the greatest women's soccer dynasty of all time, the Tar Heels in the championship, was really special. So, you know, the team had all the ingredients: great leadership, great depth, great talent, team first attitude, and again, never settled and never became complacent. So it was a very special year for us.
So the team this year is back in the top 10 and looking to head to the College Cup this year. So what can you say the team's key to success has been?
I think the key is to be a great offensive team. I think a lot of teams out there try to be great defensive teams, and we certainly want to be a great defensive team. I think we focus more on being a great offensive team and trying to keep the ball more than our opponent does. We try to create more chances than our opponent. And most importantly, lately, we've been trying to focus on getting our shots on goal, and things seem to be coming together very nicely, similar to other top 10 teams we've had here at Santa Clara, and similar to the 10 teams that we've had here that have gone to the Final Four. So we're excited about the opportunity. We know we have a lot of work in front of us and some big challenges in front of us, but we're in a really good place right now, and it feels a lot like years where we have gone to the College Cup, and so we're looking forward to that.
Thanks, Coach.
Good stuff from Santa Clara as we take a look at 11 through 20 Women Division I.
And Texas Tech, a big victory over their arch rival in Texas. Tom Stone's team gets that victory 1-0. You mentioned Amanda Cromwell and UCF. They defeated SMU 3-0. And you mentioned Nebraska winning the Big Ten. They defeated Indiana by a 3-1 score.
UCF now led by Tiffany Roberts-Sahedic, doing a great job replacing Amanda Cromwell at UCF. And how about BYU is at number 19, Portland's at number 11. Garrett Smith, what a great job he's done in 11 years. He's been a part of that program even longer at Portland. And Jennifer Rockwood's the only coach BYU women has ever had in their 18th season. They went into Portland last week, 5,000 plus in attendance, and BYU wins it 1-0. Let's take a look at the action from Portland.
That was two top teams in the country playing, and you know, I'll give our group totally proud of the performance. What we ask our team to do is be patient in the attack, put some passes together, which I thought we did tonight, and create quality scoring opportunities, which we did. And you know, the goal that we were looking to score wasn't just crash it in there and throw it in there, and unfortunately that's the goal we gave up tonight. But happy with the performance. Obviously we wanted a different result, but I know we're on the right track, and any once in a while, you know, a team can come up and nick one off of you, and that's what they did. In the last 15 minutes when we needed a goal, you know, we had them on their heels and we could have gotten one, but, you know, all the way down to the last 10 seconds, and I think that's the sign of our team and what I was most proud of. You know, we got a ball inside their 6, and we've got a freshman who's bringing it down, looking for somebody who's going to score a goal because she knows she's not, and that's a good sign. I like where we're at. WCC crown is still up for grabs. I mean, Santa Clara took care of business, beat BYU. BYU came here and took care of business with us. We just got to go and win out from here on out, and then we'll share a piece of it. More than anything, it's all about seeding, and that's what we're playing for right now.
I want to thank the good people at the Portland Pilots, and there are your last 5 here of your top 25.
G. Guerreri's squad at Texas A&M defeated LSU 3-2, and for the first time this year, Boston University, new conference, Nancy Feldman's team hits number 25.
Congratulations, Nancy. Your NSCAA Disney Player of the Week is Valerie Sanderson, a University of Memphis freshman from Canada. Sanderson scored 4 goals and the game-winning goals in each of Memphis's victories in the American Athletic Conference tournament, beating Houston and Louisville. With her 4 goals, Sanderson set the program record for goals and points by a freshman.
Take aim, America. Focus on your target and not the goalkeeper, and you will score more goals and win more matches. Practicing with the Ultimate Goal Sports Targets is the best way to train you to score more goals. Simply attach the Velcro straps to the net and you are ready for the best shooting practice around. As a special offer, we'll send you a package of 2 Red Bullseye Ultimate Goal Sports Targets for only $19.99. Sports Targets are also great for helping you hit the mark in baseball, tennis, hockey, lacrosse, and more. And for a limited time, we'll double your offer and send you 2 blue sports targets free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Take aim, America, and improve your game with the ultimate goal sports targets. Here's how to order.
What a program it's been so far. Let's see. John Harkes, Brandy Chastain, #1 men's team in the country, Bobby Clark, #1 women's team in the country, Steve Swanson, and Charlie Slagle. Doesn't get any better than that, Charlie.
And Dean Linke.
As we roll here now to Division II on the women, let's take a look at the top 10.
And we're going to talk about Quincy. They moved from 15 to 8. The Hawks, 15-0-4. Dave Musso is the coach. They tied Truman State 0-0, defeated McKendree 1-0. Jody Chappie in goal, senior from St. Louis. Only 6 goals allowed all year, .32 goals against average, and they're led by Jacqueline Mastriani, 10 goals and 10 assists.
How about the Colorado School of the Mines? On the men's side, they're led by my good friend Frank Kohlenstein. On the women's side, Kevin Fickus doing a great job there at #2, and Jeff Desch caught up with Mr. Fickus out in Golden, Colorado.
Reporting for NSCAA TV, I'm Brian Desch. Joining me today is 4th-year Colorado School of Mines head women's soccer coach Kevin Fickus. Thank you for stopping by today, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
Your women's team has undoubtedly had a bullseye on its back for much of this season. And especially of late with a 4-week stay in the top 25, you're #2 now. What has been the secret to handling everyone's best shot week in and week out?
We just try to be ready for each match as it comes and train according to the opponent that we have coming up, and just do the things that we do well, and that's been doing.
There's a lot of things that you do well, it seems like. Now, looking ahead, the women have secured the team's first RMAC regular season title and the tournament #1 seed. With attention turning towards the postseason play, have you found it a challenge to keep the team focused on the job at hand and not really get caught up in the rankings and the achievements of this season?
I never talk to them about the rankings, and obviously I see them because I get the emails and all that, but and I don't know how much time they're spending on it. Typically the players know more than I do about the top 25, but I just haven't heard them talking about it much. I haven't heard them mentioning things
too much study, it seems like.
Yeah, maybe they're too busy studying, so that's a fringe benefit for us.
Now this is your 14th year here at Mines, and 4th as the head coach of the women's program. When you started, did you ever envision this fast of a rise in national success and prominence for the women?
Well, to be fair, in 2009 when I was here as a part-time assistant, we went to the Elite 8 then too. So they were kind of already there. Right. But to have kept them there and talking about a season like this year, no, I wouldn't have envisioned it. The girls have been fantastic. They were responding to a lot of the things that we've asked them to do, and I'm still pinching myself occasionally, yeah. But I also believe in it.
Well, that's great. I mean, five postseason tournament appearances in the 8 years thus far. You can't really beat that. So, thanks for your time today. Reporting for NSCAA TV, I'm Brian Desch. Take care.
Thanks.
All right, Brian Desch, not Jeff. Just Brian did a great job. Kevin Fickus looks like he's ready to hit the slopes as well. Love that guy. All right. Your Division II Player of the Week, Jordan Woodruff, Northeastern State freshman goalkeeper, shut out all 3 opponents this past week to help Northeastern State finish 2nd in the MIAA standings. She is your Disney Soccer NSCAA Player of the Week. Let's roll to Division III here, Charlie.
Yes, and we're going to highlight number 10 from moving up from 12. Misericordia, the Cougars. Mark Stauffer's team had a 2-0 win over Wilkes to move up a couple spots.
Top 4 teams stay the same. Washington, Trinity from Texas, William Smith, and Wheaton, a program that we have also featured on this program. Your Division III Disney Soccer NSCAA Player of the Week, Amy French, another goalkeeper. She's from Washington U, posted 3 shutouts as the Bears won 3 road games last week and are the new number 1 ranked team in NCAA Division III. Let's take a quick look now at NJCAA Division I.
And going to talk about the 10th place team. College of Southern Maryland moved into the top 10. They haven't lost since September 1. Adam Sanchez's team has done a great job.
All right, at number 1 is indeed Paradise Valley. They're the number 1 team in the country, and my main man, Jay Russell, previewed the team before the season started, and as usual, Paradise Valley has delivered.
The Paradise Valley women's soccer team has won 2 NJCAA national titles in the last 3 years. NJCAA All-American Ashley Stein remembers the satisfying feelings she felt after the final buzzer sounded.
It was mostly rewarding because we'd worked so hard during the season to get there, and we played our hardest all 4 games.
The Lady Pumas are back this season working hard to defend their national title without former Coach of the Year, Casey Bingham.
All right, still a good effort.
New head coach John Ruzan is at the helm, and his expectations are set high for this season.
Anything less than another national championship final would be a little bit of a disappointment.
Paradise Valley had one of the most powerful offensives in the country last year, scoring 115 goals. However, the Pumas' defensive numbers were even more impressive.
And we only gave up 8 goals last year.
Confidence is riding high again this season with Paradise Valley, as they are ranked number 1 in the preseason NJCAA national polls.
I think that we're going to be the best of the best, and all the teams need to be ready for us.
The Lady Pumas conduct long and hard practices to achieve success on the fields, but still find time to excel in the classroom.
It's always stressed. We need to do our academics first before athletics.
Last year, Paradise Valley received 9 Academic All-American Team Awards. That's the most by any Maricopa community college. The Paradise Valley women's soccer team was no exception, posting a team GPA of 3.26.
You know, we're going to require that commitment to their academics is just as solid as it is on the athletic.
Paradise Valley has proven they are the team to beat in the country, but they must first take out the competition in the ACC-AC.
Clearly, you know, when Paradise Valley is not contending for a national championship, whoever else might sneak in.
Paradise Valley opened its conference play at South Mountain with a full schedule of 20 games.
Nice work, Jay Russell. And finally, Junior College Women Division III.
We're going to highlight San Bernardino Valley College. They moved into the top 10 to 7 from 12. Kristen Hogue, the coach, is in her 8th year. They beat College of the Desert 5-0 and also avenged an earlier loss to Chaffee with a 3-2 victory.
Cerritos Hold serves at number 1. Meanwhile, Brookdale Community College is at number 2. All right, Charlie Slago, men's college soccer in the books, women's college soccer in the books. It's tournament time, most exciting time of the year for college soccer.
You got 5-6 weeks until both those college cups are done. I really think that the committees are going to have some trouble. The men's committee with 48 teams have to pick a top 16 that get buys. They have to pick the top 48. That's not going to be very easy. Women with 64, and the NCAA committee has 10 new members out of 10. So they'll be picking those teams. They have to introduce themselves to each other this weekend to pick those teams.
I'd like to have you back next week as well, Charlie, if you could, as we continue to talk college soccer. But guess what? NSCAA-TV not done broadcasting games. Tomorrow we'll be down in Williamsburg for William and Mary and James Madison. That's tomorrow night right here on NSCAA-TV. And then how about PP&L Park on Friday night? Does it get any better than Army and Navy? I already asked Charlie to come back, so he better be here next week as well for another edition of the NSCAA Weekly College Highlights and Rankings Show. That'll be Tuesday, November 12th, 1 p.m. right here from the Continental Tire Studios. So many people to thank for this great show, but right at the top, definitely want to thank Ken Neal and Andy Siegel from the ACC Digital Network for helping us out with the piece with John Harkes, and of course Steve Swanson. The SIDs are fantastic. The on-air talent even better. And how about the folks out in Kansas City? Joe Cummings doing a great job. Chris Burt, Christine Mason, Monique Bowman, Rob Kehoe, Pat Madden, and Kathleen Hermish. Our production crew's fantastic. His name is Charlie Slago. Today's show is presented by the NSCAA. You can learn more just by visiting NSCAA.com. I'm Dean Linke saying so long from the Continental Tire Studios in Chapel Hill. Thanks for watching NSCAA TV.